Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Money Monastery. And today we are talking about a company that is into infrastructure development, be it highways, bridges, railway lines, railway roads, whatever it is into that industry, and it is in conjunction with the government because of the fact that government wants to increase its spending on infrastructure, and this company is well positioned to take advantage of the spending on infrastructure. And the other reason why have we selected this company, or we are talking about this company, is the undervaluation. So it is at a PE of 3.5, whereas its peers stands at 30, 40, 50 or 60. So it is super undervalued in my opinion, and it is very well positioned because of the growth story of India, because of the aspect of infrastructure of India and the interest of government in this sector specifically. So just to give you a background about this company, we are talking about Ashoka Buildcon. So it is a 45 years old company which has constructed approximately 14,000 kilometers of highway and have electrified 30,000 villages across India. And if you see that overall the current order book stands at 14,905 CR, which is very promising, and look at the envelope. Now, as usual, what we'll be doing is we'll be dissecting every aspect of this company. We will go through the news, the awards, the peer comparison, the financials, then the shareholding pattern, and finally we'll be wrapping up the video with strengths and risk. So make sure that you stick to the end so that you understand the complete picture about this company and you can make an informed decision to get invested in this or not. The very first section is of news. So as per the latest news, that is, we are just covering 2025 to ensure that we are being recent in nature. So the very first thing is Ashoka Buildcon got a 569 crore central railway project in Maharashtra. Then it got another project in West Bengal from NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, a 1391 CR project. And then it bagged a contract of 312 crore from MSETCL. So it works in collaboration with all kinds of government entities, be it central government, state government, or the infrastructure side of things, or the railways. So it is a very public-private partnership is at the epitome for this company, and this company plays a crucial role in the growth story of India. Now coming to the award section, this is something very interesting because it has been recognized by different platforms, different communities, different people. So if you see here in 2024, it got the best infrastructure company of the year from the Economic Times Infra. Then it got an infrastructure thought leader of the year, Mr. Satish Parekh, who is in the leadership of this company. Then it got another project about best infrastructure. Then if you see, it got a third fastest growing construction company in the large category. And just on the screen, if you see, there are a lot of awards that this company has received. So what does this signify? This signifies, first, the company is vision oriented and wants to grow. The leadership is great and they want to set an example. They want to run fast. They want to help India achieve its goal faster. So this is just like to set some credibility that this is a very good company and has been recognized by different platforms and organizations so far. And this is just something that I've put it together for the year 2024 and 2025. Before this also, it has received numerous type of awards which you can visit at their website in the award section. Now, this was a bit about the background. Now let's dive into the basics, very basics of this industry. So if you see here, we have a lot of players here. L&T is there, then Reliance Infra is there, then Engineers India is there. But Ashoka Buildcon is very well positioned because of the fact I have highlighted two parameters here. If you see, the first one is the P of this company is just 3.65, which is very much on the lower side, and it is kind of an indicator that this company is relatively undervalued as compared to its peer. But on the contrary, if you see, the ROCE percentage of this company is 39%, which is super high among the peer group. So though the company is generating good money, company is generating good revenue out of its capital employed, it is not getting the true value it deserves. So it is a very well stocked when we talk about the valuation aspect. Now moving on, if you see here, we see the sales growth. So sales growth might look off at a quarter to quarter comparison. So if you see March 24 to March 25, there is a decline of almost 20%. But that is not the true picture, because it is a contract based company. So when is the profit being realized is very subjective in nature. So even if we are seeing a drop of revenue or drop of profit for a particular quarter, that doesn't mean that the company is not doing good, and we should deep dive into the yearly numbers to make more sense out of it and to get the bigger picture. So let's dive into the yearly numbers. So if you see the yearly numbers, it looks like the sales has been growing almost for the last 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, and at a very slow, gradual and a good pace, I would say, because they have doubled from 21 to 25, they've doubled their sales. And the more interesting aspect I'm interested in is, for the last 3 years, if you see the operating profit margin, so it was standing at 24% before, but now it stands at 29%, which is also a good indicator, because if the sales is increasing or if the profits are increasing, then it doesn't make sense, because the company is doing the same old thing in the same old fashion with the same old management. But if there is an increase in sales, but the profit is catching up at a faster pace, that is when we realize that the company is really doing good, and it is very clear from this operating profit margin that they are fundamentally doing the right thing and in the right direction. One thing I am looking out for every company is the borrowing section. And if you see here, it has made some efforts and decisions to reduce the borrowings. Right now, we just stands at 2,000 crore of borrowing as compared to 5,450 in the last year. So that is a very good indicator that they are trying to reduce their borrowing, and that reduces the stress, the overall debt of the company, and that ensures that the people of the company, the management of the company, is not worried about the debt component, and gradually they are trying to decline it or decrease it. Now moving forward, this is something that gets interesting. So first thing is inventory days. Inventory days, we see a reduction from 71 to 31. That is a very positive sign that effectively the company is rotating the inventory in a fast manner. But since it's more of a construction based company, I'll not give much weightage, but it's a very good indicator. But then the negative aspect of things are days payable and cash conversion cycle. This, if you see, days payable are getting from 160 to 57, and the cash conversion cycle is getting from -49 to 18. What does it mean? The company is under stress from the supplier side. So if it is getting a raw material from someone and then giving it to the consumer, the final end product. So the overall story looks like earlier it had a bargain power, it had some strengths. So earlier it was not the case, because earlier the company was getting the payment from the customers and delaying the payment to its supplier, ensuring that the cash flows are good, the cash is being utilized well. But right now it's not the case. The company is getting delayed payment from the customers but making advance payment to the supplier, which is not exactly an effective utilization of cash, but there might be some nuance related to this industry, raw material rules and guidelines. And again, with the US tariff and the geopolitical scenario, the suppliers might be conscious and they want money in advance. So this is relatively a pressure point for this company, but not a red flag, but something I would say as like a concerning item. Now the ROCE, it looks super promising. So if you see here, the ROCE percentage over the years has been from 20% to 40%, which is on a super high side, and it is a marker of how well the company is utilizing its overall capital employed. So this is a very good indicator and a good green flag, I would say. And going ahead to shareholding pattern, this gives us a mixed signal, I would say, because FIIs have increased from 1.9% to 7.48% in just last 3 years, whereas DIIs have decreased their percentage holding. It might be because of some block deal between FIIs, DIIs. We cannot say that, but overall looks like a mixed review. Like FIIs are getting interested, but DIIs are getting out of the market, and it might be because of some particular mutual fund or some thematic mutual fund have withdrawn some money. They are not completely exiting this company, but they have reduced the exposure to this company. So this is a bit tricky one, and it is like a 50-50 from a shareholding standpoint. Now let's talk about the final chapter of this video, that is strengths and risks. So the strengths being, it is a market leader. So it has the expertise, innovation, and the right set of contacts and contracts in place, which makes it a market leader in this field of highway construction or the infrastructure development. Then the diversification. So now it is gradually getting projects beyond highways, be it the railway projects or be it the solar energy projects and other projects. So the management is not constrained to the highway segment, but is trying to diversify its offering to the best of its capability. So that's a good thing. Robust order book. So we saw that it recently got some contracts, and it has some contracts from the past also. It creates like it has a robust order book, and the sales will not drop for the upcoming quarters or upcoming years. Main focus in areas of government are like green energy, then the infrastructure and the defense, and it sits in a sweet spot because infrastructure is the key focus area of government, and this is going to get benefited from that spending for sure. Now in terms of financials, it looks super promising. Be it the ROC, the sales, everything looks promising from a financial standpoint. The company is very well put, well positioned, and well QC'd and delivering good results, be it quarter over quarters or year over year. And the last and the most favorite for me is the low PE. It is available at a very discounted rate. Coming to the risk side, so it has some competitive pressure. So there are a lot of companies in this landscape, and there will be continuous cost pressure, and there will be a continuous tender fights and whatnot. So there will be competitive pressure in this industry for sure. Then there is execution and payment delay risk. So be it the overall structure or be it the relationship or the contracting with the government works in a relatively more delayed manner as compared to the private contracts. But since the company deals majorly with governments, then there is a expectation or like there might be some execution delays or payment delays which might impact its financials or the order book. So DII selling pressure, so that is also a significant one, because if in the upcoming quarters or years we see that DIIs are further reducing their exposure to this stock, then we might need to investigate that why is it happening, what are they seeing that we are not able to see, and why are they reducing their exposure to this stock one step at a time. Then the margin volatility. So based on the overall geopolitical scenario, the cost of material, cost of raw material for creation of infrastructure, be it steel, concrete and other items, it is very much varying these days because of the Trump tariff and whatnot. So the margin volatility or the impact on margin might be very visible if there is an increase in the raw material cost. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that however the company is growing, but if we see that there is a geopolitical tensions out there and that is impacting the cost of raw materials, then the tender price is fixed. The amount they will be receiving from the government is fixed, but the raw material cost rises and hence the margin might take a hit. So let's see how it pans out in the upcoming quarters and cycles. We are not advising you to invest in the company, but we are just giving you the complete picture of an undervalued stock in the infrastructure landscape. So if you're interested, feel free to invest or just take it as a learning. So if you like the video, hit the like button and share it with your friends who might be interested in investing in some undervalued companies. Also, put it in the comments if you want us to make any video on a particular stock or any personal finance topic. We'd be happy to make it. Thank you. Until next time.